With that, we are ready to begin with today's program and start off with the first session, the logistics of talent, sourcing crew travel, and the AI revolution. As it happens, I'm going to open this session myself and then hand over the speaker to other speakers. So, the last time I gave a speech at CSN, it was about the topic of how AI is revolutionizing crew travel management and what the future could look like. This time, I will be more focusing on the longest standing trade-off in crew travel, in our opinion. But before we start, I would urge you to use your imagination. So, imagine it's 3 a.m. in the morning and you get the call. One of your seafarers is unresponsive over the phone and you know they are at the airport. Two of their crewmates went looking for him. And as it happens, all three of them missed their flights. You have a crew change in under 48 hours and you need a full roster. Who solves this problem? For the next 9 minutes, I want to talk about why that question has only had bad answers for the last few decades, and why this is finally changing. So crew travel has always had two choices: the technology path, online booking tools, global distribution, and self-booking. This has provided industry with the speed and scale and lower the cost. But these systems are technologies that often you do not have within them the complexities required for marine crew travel. This means visa validity, vessel ETAs, rest hour limits, and the newer tools are more and more pushing the workload from travel agents to crewing staff in companies. And what happens with these technologies is that if problems arise, then they do not fail very gracefully. It usually means that seafarers and crewing managers are often stuck on screens with no answers and no help in sight. The other way of doing this in our industry is doing it through travel agencies. These are real experts who have the airline contacts. They can improvise routing, and they can find you the hotels that will hold the reservation past midnight so your seafarers can check in. You have the human judgment, but because of that, it's mostly done by email or over WhatsApp. And it's slower, it's usually more expensive, and to get the best response times, it's usually tied to the working hours of where your travel agent is located. So the speed of this 3 a.m. call is almost always dependent on who is on the shift at that time. And the compromise the industry has settled on is that we pay human travel agents a premium because the dead ends of using only technology are much more costly than going the human premium route. And the question is, why is this automation or this technological advancement been so difficult in crew travel? And if you see on the graph and you look on the left side, it's mainly because although there seems to be a big portion of the cases are standardized, then actually our industry has a very long tail of complex cases. And traditional automation requires that all of these different scenarios be classified and taught into the system, and every case to be spelled out in advance. But anybody who has dealt with seafarers and crew logistics understand that it's an endless combination of novel cases. Every disruption is a new mix of vessel ETA, visa rules, company fare policies, and let's face it, human errors. So this kind of long tail that we see on the right is what broke every attempt to automate crew travel in the past. And what it taught the industry is that automation is out of reach, and I would say up until a year ago, it was mostly right. But what changed a year ago was the introduction of AI. Large language model AI is the first technology in crew travel that can reason about situations it has never seen. It can read visa rules it was never given based on the seafarer profiles. It can add predictive elements and vessel ETAs and compare them against flight times. And it can find information that it was not programmed into it. And this system can keep all of these details in mind with no fatigue and access to it with all working hours. And for the first time, this technology means that you can have the knowledge of human travel agents was irreplaceable, and you can improvise and weigh trade-offs with this technology. And now it can cover what you see, the majority of the cases. But I think where all of these true kind of AI hypists go wrong is that they don't understand that for marine sector, it will never be fully automated. AI will still hit walls, and how to solve it is actually that you need to have human experts in the loop. Because when these edge cases happen, and they do happen often, you need somebody who understands these novel cases, who understands these trade-offs, and you don't want the user to be looped into an AI system without getting answers and just saying, you're doing great, keep doing, but you're actually not solving your problems. So the new systems still need humans in the loop, but the amount of, or the quality of work done is changing. So when we started thinking about what could the future architecture of crew travel be like, we came up with this kind of model. And I think that it represents this long tail the best. So, and most likely will also be the future of crew travel for the next decade or two. So the AI layer, this handles the majority. It handles the visa checks, it keeps in mind, it does the multi-leg routing, it can rebook flights when you see that the seafarer has missed them, and you can even add predictive elements to this layer that does not only react to changes, but can think of weather events, political events, anything that happens in this port of origin that could affect your seafarers, and then suggest it to you beforehand that, hey, a problem might come up. And what it means that we open up and we can now actually start measuring seafarer fatigue limits set, because now the machine remembers the details. It doesn't need to be the human travel agent or crewing manager, crewing personnel doing this. And what it also means is that the crewing personnel have now access to a credible source or partner that they can interact constantly with, which would not have been possible if you're doing with a human travel agent. But this system would not work without this other layer, this 15%. And this is the layer where you actually add humans back into the loop. This is where you genuinely need human judgment, and you escalate it to expert marine travel agents who can pick up the phone, who can talk with your seafarers, instruct them to go to this counter at the airport who knows where to find this. So I think that this is exactly what this conference title describes. Digital efficiency for the 85%, human reliability for the 15%. And going AI native does not mean human free, but it means that your operations and crewing team can be sharper and not replaced, because we take the routine off of their table and they can focus more on what actually matters most, is the quality of travel for the seafarer and the well-being of the seafarer. So I think for the future, the question crewing departments should ask their travel providers is no longer, are you using AI? Because everybody will say, yes, we are. The question is, how is the handoff between AI and human personnel at this travel agency handled, and what does the AI actually do to help the crewing departments do their work better? So this kind of brings me to why I'm here about talking this, is that with Crewpoint, this is actually what we are building. We have built it in a way that it's AI native from day one. So all of our infrastructure and bedrock is built on AI foundations. And it's not bolted on afterwards. And it utilizes basically the same two-structure architecture that I was talking about. So you can interact with the service through our platform by email, and you can even integrate it straight into your crew management software. So this gives your crewing departments access to industry knowledge available at their fingertips 24/7. And all of this would not work if we didn't have the commercial terms required and designed for the maritime industry. And that's why we thought it's important to sponsor this conference. So, to close out, for years, crew travel was asked to make this choice between technological speed and human judgment. But I think that when built right, AI doesn't bridge the gap between digital efficiency and human reliability, it ends it. So thank you for your time, and please come up and connect with us during this event. And if you have any questions, do not hesitate to approach us. Thank you.